What's up, guys? Paul from Golfers Authority. Welcome to Behind the Golf Brand podcast. This week, I have a really good friend of mine, Randy Peitsch, the COO of PGA Tour Superstore. I'm actually really excited because this is kind of where I started my journey, was at the PGA Tour Superstore and getting into learning, why I want to get better. And, so I was kind of blown away when they actually reached out to me. So I feel like at the bell of the ball right now, because I got Randy on the show and Randy's trying to laugh. But it's really super exciting. You guys all know what PGA Tour Superstore is because they're all across the United States. And they're probably in your neighborhood. So without further ado, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much. And first of all, thank you for being a loyal customer of ours. We really appreciate that.
I get all my grips done there. They're actually, this is how cool you got your store is, right? I want to tell you guys, I've gone there and I'll buy grips, right? This is when I first started out. I buy grips, and then I was brand new at the blog. And so they have this huge area where they put the grips on. So I asked the guy, I'm like, can I come in there? Which is you should probably get fired now that I'm telling Randy the story. But so this happened 5 years ago. So I go in there and I'm like, can I take pictures of all this stuff? Because it'd look really good in the blog article I'm doing about how to change your own grips. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. Come on in. He's explaining how everything is. That's how cool they are over there. They're like, oh yeah, sure. No problem. So, and they also have really good simulators.
As you found, we don't like to say no to customers with anything. So we get all kinds of weird requests, and we like to be able to say yes.
I think what I like the most about it is you have all those sims. You walk, well, at least the location you walk into the right, it's Simville, USA, right? It's just I don't know how many there are, probably 10 of them, 12 of them. And then before that, it's a big putting green. So my kids just run over there and start putting. It's a huge putting green. And I don't know, it looks like a candy land for adults, really.
Well, that's what we like to say. We like to say that we're Disney World for golf, where it's not just we've got a lot of stuff that we can sell you, but we also have a lot of really fun activities to come in and participate in. And if you just want to come in and roll putts and hit some balls in the simulator, that's okay too. I think you and I have talked a lot about being in the relationship business, and that's certainly what we want to be. We don't really want to be in the transaction business. We want to develop relationships and make people better golfers.
Yeah, because that's kind of the hard part, I feel especially in retail, because a lot of retail companies don't do that. And then especially with COVID, we didn't have the ability to have people walk in the store. So now everything's on e-com. But if they don't have that loyalty to you because they like the brand itself, then they're going to go to one of 20 other e-com companies. So it's an advantage, right? That e-com doesn't have. They don't have e-com by itself cannot build a relationship with the brand. Right.
Exactly. And e-commerce is obviously here to stay, and the Amazons of the world and all companies today, if they're not growing and building their e-commerce business, they're probably doing something wrong, and ours is growing as well. But there are certain things that golfers in particular like to feel how a shot is hit. They like to.
Oh yeah, totally.
They have to bring clubs in to be regripped, so that's one thing. But they like to see how it feels in their hands, and the interaction with the golf ball. And there's a certain element to our business that has to be very hands-on, and that's the good news for us in the environment we're in now, because I think COVID did force people to get more comfortable with things like grocery delivery and other things that they probably went to the grocery store before, and then post COVID, they found the convenience of, hey, I can just click on some buttons and the groceries show up in my garage. The advent of things like Instacart are really amazing, and I certainly hope that our business never goes fully that way, because I think people are missing out on the experience that they would have coming into a store like ours. So,
your store is like a candy land. Seriously.
Yeah, and we've seen increased traffic on our website, but we've seen increased business in our stores to go along with it, which is fantastic. And you probably know as well as better than me how great the industry's doing. And up 33% in rounds in 2021, which is amazing. So people are out there on the golf course. If you're trying to get a tee time today.
Unless you're in Arizona, it's hot as hell.
Yeah, I know. I guess where you are, you have a little bit of an easier time when it's 115 out, but most courses are a lot fuller than they were a couple of years ago, which is great for all of us. So it's really.
See, a lot of people were worried. Like a lot of the brands I talked to, they were worried. They're like, "Is that going to happen again this year?" Right? Because we all know what happened last year. Yeah. And I'm like, "Why wouldn't it happen again?" Because you have all those new golfers that are new, and then now they're back, right? Like, so the catalyst has already occurred. It's not. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to slip over time. It may or may not. Who knows? It depends. But I mean, for the time being, I don't think so. I don't see it at all.
Well, I think the fear was that people didn't have a lot of choices in 2020, right? So golf was one of those things that you could do in your hometown, be socially distant, do all the things that you are supposed to be doing to stay safe, and still have, it's a social game. So you could still interact with your friends socially and in person, but you could still be distant from them. And I think the big fear in the industry was in 2021, when people can go on vacation or start to go on cruises or take flights again, are these people going to is it going to go back to the way that it used to be? And fortunately, it really hasn't. We've had 3 million people in the last year that are new to the game, and 3 more million people that have not played the game in the last 5 years that have come back to it. So that's 6 million people now that are brand new to the game, and I don't see them going away. Certainly, our business wouldn't indicate that they are, and neither would rounds played or any other metric that you look at, which is great. And I think it's part of our job to then help them with their journey. If they bought a starter set because they just wanted to get out on the golf course and see what it was all about, how do we help them with some lessons and playing better golf in the future, and really walking them through the journey of how to go from a beginner golfer to somebody who's more avid. So that's been fun, and we've seen every demographic you can imagine go in, whether it's kids playing more or women playing for the first time or the first time in a long time. It's been really, really nice to see more diversity in our sport than we've seen in the past. And that's been
the face of golf is definitely changing, which I think is so cool. I mean, I started seeing it about 2 years ago with the clothing that was coming out, and I was like, finally, right? Yeah. And then now it's really happening. Now it's still weird though. Who was I talking to? I was talking to the guys at Devereaux about this. I told him, I was like, yeah, I was wearing a Travis Matthews t-shirt and a pair of shorts, and I went to play golf at a country club. I didn't realize it's a country club. I thought it was like a normal course. So I went over there, and I had like nice shoes on or whatever. So I go in, my buddy's a GM, and I'm gonna go film some video, right? So he's like, "What are you wearing?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna go hit some video." He's like, "Can't. You gotta wear a polo shirt." I was like, are you freaking serious? And so then I end up having to spend, like, for real, I spent $150 on clothes in the pro shop in order to get, and it's the ugliest crap. Like, seriously, it was like skin ass tight, and I don't like it. And I hate the video because I'm like, that's not even my clothes. Now, no one knows which video it is, but I'm just telling you, it still exists, which I think is crazy because it's like, I don't know. You're never going to get rid of the polo shirt. That's what I know. I know that for damn sure. But I don't know. If you're going to go play with your friends, like, why can't you just wear a t-shirt?
Yeah, and sometimes it's hard to turn a barge around that's going down there. We get a lot of talk about the PGA Tour. Why do they still have to wear long pants when it's 80 degrees with 80% humidity in Memphis? Like why do these guys not wear shorts? But I do think that golf is getting a little bit more friendly toward that. I mean, even just like take footwear, as an example. It's not welted construction dress shoes anymore, right? There's athletic styles that look cool with lots of color and they're fun to wear golf shoes. And you could wear them off the course too. There's bright color. There's more kind of athleisure type of look. And even, the big stink about PGA Tour pros wearing hoodies, when it was a little cool.
I remember that last year. Everyone's like,
hey, what's wrong with a hoodie, right? Put a hoodie on and go swing a golf club. It's like there shouldn't be this big divide between, hey, you can only play if you look a certain way. And I think that's changing a lot. And we've certainly seen it from some of these, Barstool Golf and Bad Birdie and William Murray. And, some of these brands that are sort of up and coming.
There's tons of them. I mean, I know them all. Like, yeah, there's like, and Bad Blurry blew up last year. Like blew up, right? It's very interesting. Let's talk about fashion for a second. It's very interesting because like, and we're kind of talking about this before the show, like with big business, right? Big business comes in, like Travis Matthews got bought out, right? Like what was it, 2 years ago? Was it Callaway who bought him or somebody?
Yes, Callaway owns them.
You could tell a big company owns them now. Like I've had this conversation with a lot of brands, and I like Travis Matthews, and they make awesome clothes, but you could just tell. I don't know what that is. You can just tell, right? Like it's like nothing against Travis Matthews, but it almost becomes more conservative, right? Like it's to the masses, not so much like, well, we make what we make, right?
Yeah, I think you'll find that, I mean, you see that in order for brands to really succeed, they do have to reinvent themselves. And I think FootJoy went through this several years ago where they maybe were too hesitant to get out of the age of like, hey, this is the style of shoe we're going to make, and this is the only style we're going to make. And then you had all these athletic brands coming in and people wearing Nike.
Dominating, yeah.
And it hurt FootJoy for a while until they figured out, okay, we got to get into this game as well. And this is what people want to wear. And if we don't change with what people want, then eventually they're going to lose a lot of market share or all of it. So I think brands have to figure that out over time. And especially apparel and footwear brands, and really be relevant.
Which is super hard. I'm sorry to tell you, my very limited experience, that's one of the hardest businesses is apparel. Like
it is
hands down. And I had no idea like how hard that is.
We have one of the benefits of having one of the best apparel teams. I think they're the best, but I'm probably a little biased in the industry, and they're actually looking for these up and coming brands all the time. And we've probably taken more risks than any other golf retailer, just to say, I mean, we fail just as many times as we succeed, but we want to be cutting edge, and we want to be bold, and we want to be aggressive. And we think that's the right strategy for apparel and footwear, is to always be thinking about what's next and not just be content with what people are wearing today. And
there's a lot of copycatters though too right now, it feels like, especially like I've noticed that, like, you know, let's use Bad Birdie for an example. Like there's probably like 20 brands that do the same thing now, right? Like in the last 2 years in the last year that have come out, and I'm like, that's a direct copycat. Come on. I mean, yeah, it looks different, but it's like I don't know. That's the hard part, right? So as soon as something hits, and then everybody jumps on board and tries to like create it and sell it for $10 less.
You know, it's a copycat industry. I mean, golf balls is another example of that, right? So at one point you had this brand called Volvic, right? That came out with these colors and like all of a sudden for 1 year, they were on just this huge roll, because it was like, hey, they're the only brand that makes this colored golf ball. And then sure enough, the next year you see all the major brands coming up with color. Right. You know, the day that you saw Pro V1s in yellow, you knew that was something that
it jumped the shark. Like the old Fonzie jumped the shark when you start. Well, it's like when your parents use like a phrase and you're like, oh, wait, did you say that? And they're like, oh, yeah, you know, that's rad. It's like, wait, did you say rad? You know,
Exactly right. But it's a copycat industry in that way, for sure.
All right. So let's play a game. I always play this game.
Okay.
What is your first golf memory? I told you the one I told about Dean Snell, but what's yours?
Oh yeah. No, that was, I can't top that story.
Nobody has.
Yeah. And no, I you know what, my first golf memory, this is going to sound really bad from somebody that's been in the golf industry as long as I have, and as passionate as I am about it, I just didn't think it was cool at all. Right. I was like, I grew up in Florida where you could play golf 365 days a year. And I always thought, you know, my dad liked it, and I didn't want anything to do with it. I wanted to be in the cool sports, right? I wanted to play, you know, all the other stuff. And so that's my first memory, is saying no to golf, right? Which is not good, right? And then I got on board when we had a person in our school, or one of the alumni, donate money so that our school could have a golf team. And I was a senior in high school, and I didn't play any of the spring sports. You know, I wasn't a baseball player, and I was like, oh, you know what? I have nothing else to do between, you know, my last semester here before college. I'm going to take up golf, I guess. I'm going to just go out there. And sure enough, I did it, and that got me really hooked. Like I got the feeling of like what it was like to hit a good shot, even though I didn't hit many, because my very first tournament, this is really funny. first high school tournament, but our high school didn't have golf. So none of these guys that were on the team were golfers. So you had all these people playing that were like athletic, but none of them could really hit a golf ball. So I get out there in this tournament, and my first 9-hole match, I shot 63 for 9 holes. So I'm like, all right, well, maybe the sport isn't for me at all. But
hey, you made the team. That's half the battle right there.
I know, but I'm like, I mean, this guy I'm playing, I don't know, he shot 41 or 42 or something. And he's like, man, is this kid ever going to get on the green? And, just so,
he's laughing in his head. He's like, oh, like no pressure at all.
Like the guy's hitting out of bounds. And he's like, oh, no, you need to go back to the tee and re-hit. You can't just drop it up there. So I'm learning as I'm on the fly playing in golf tournaments. And so that's my first memory. It didn't start out too well, but I really took hold of me, and played a lot of golf in college just because I fell in love with it. And so
you were like everybody else. You were crappy. And
terrible.
Yeah,
terrible. Like I said,
I'm still crappy. I
remember the first time I broke 100, and I'm like, oh man, this is awesome. And so but it comes and goes like anything else. I've gotten better, but it can start with a 7, it can start with a 9. I don't know what my score is going to be, but I learned a long time ago that I'm not good enough to get angry at a bad golf shot. So I just enjoy being out there, and I love the social element of it. I like being with people.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Little competition.
It's almost like it's like serenity kind of, even though it's a stressful sport. Like I've had so many good memories and so many beautiful places that were golf courses that you didn't even know existed. You were like back up on, 11. It's like, holy crap, this is gorgeous back here, and then it's like, you make bonds with people, you have stories to tell, like what a sport. And you're not even playing against them. You know what I mean? So like,
exactly. Well, you might be playing against them, and that's fun too, to hand someone $10 at the end of the round and you got a little competition. But the whole story comes full circle because I played, my father passed away last year. The last round of golf I played with him, which we ended up playing a lot of golf after I said no for so many years as a kid, was at Pebble Beach. And if you never have taken your significant loved one, dad, brother, uncle, do that. It's expensive. It's worth all of it to create those memories that are like, hey, I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life, that the last round I ever played was at Pebble Beach with my dad. And those are the things that the stories that we just live for. And it's why I love being part of the golf industry, because these are the kind of things that we see every day. Guys coming in on buddy trips, guys saying, hey, I'm off to Bandon Dunes. I might be in Phoenix, Arizona now, but I'm going off to Bandon Dunes for some cool weather and some fun golf with people that I like to hang out with. And that's what's so great about our industry. And I think why it's flourished over the last couple of years was people discovering what I discovered that so many years ago.
So where'd you go to college?
I went to Auburn University.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. I'm a, yes. It's,
oh, yes, it was.
It was a great place to go to school.
Oh yeah, dude. Auburn's cool as hell.
Love the experience. Yes.
Okay. So what was your major in, like marketing or business?
So my undergraduate major was actually in communication, and I wanted to go into I wanted to be a sports writer. That's what I wanted to do.
That's cool. I'll hire you if you want.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to.
If you got some time.
I don't know how long that career would have gone writing for a newspaper, because those are kind of few and far between these days. But there's other media things, and then I stayed and got my MBA in business and marketing, and so I went from wanting to do that to wanting to be a stockbroker. And I had a summer where I didn't have anything lined up, and a buddy of mine was in retail and a management training program. And I said, hey, I'm going to do it for 6 months, and then I'm going to go do this stockbroker thing or become a writer. And the retail bug hit me much like the golf business did. So what did you like?
Did you like the sales aspect of it?
Here's what I really like.
Be honest. I love this.
I just love being able to give customers a great experience. I grew up in a small family business, and
what'd your dad do?
So he was an engineer for Chrysler, but he left that, took his life savings, and bought a motel in South Florida, which is where I grew up. And it was a small family run business. 18 apartments where people would come on vacation, and it was all about
what a fun time.
Yeah, no, it was great. I mean, the whole thing was about like, if the guest wants something, we got to drop everything we're doing and take care of the guest and make the guest experience great. And it's so funny how it's come full circle now that's what I fell in love with was, I love doing it then, taking care of people. When you can put a smile on someone's face, that means everything. And so that retail training program was like, wow, you know what? You treat people the way they want to be treated, and they walk out with a smile, and then they come back and then they tell your boss how great you did and what a great job. And it's like, hey,
I know. And no one realizes that anymore. Everyone's like, me.
And Paul, you and I were talking off the air about, it's not that hard of a concept, but there's so few people that give a great customer experience anymore. And that's why we do everything we can at PGA Tour Superstore to say it's like
zero pressure when you go in there. It's zero. Right. It's like literally do whatever you want. And if you buy something, cool. If you don't, cool too. We'll see you next time. Like, you don't even care. You know what I mean? Like, you're just there to make the experience, like to give somebody the ability to enjoy it.
Right. The results for us are going to come. I mean, we're financially driven company, but the results are going to come based on us doing the right thing for the customer every single day. And sometimes that's not selling them $1,000 set of irons. Right. Sometimes
you're gonna be pissed off at you. They'll never come back. That's a big investment.
Right. We do everything we can to develop relationships and to make people better golfers. And it's not always buying a $500 driver that's going to make you a better golfer. A lot of times it does, but it doesn't always. And when it's not, we don't want to be the high pressure, let me just see what I can put in your bag today before you leave our store. It's, hey, you know what? You brought your old driver in and we couldn't get you any better numbers. So you have the most optimal driver for you. That's great.
Yep.
Right. And that's okay. And those are some of the best letters we get is how much trust that customers have in the people that work in our stores. And we're so excited and proud to have such a great team in each one of our 46 locations. Holy crap. 47 in 2 more weeks. But that's what we do.
I think it's a two-sided sword though. Yeah, he's on the phone. Tell them to leave.
Yes, I have a yes.
Just kidding. Tell them to say I have my wife on the phone.
That's important. Yes.
So okay, I know to say it's like a two-edged sword, right? Because you don't put the pressure, but then it's like you still want to give good service and good information on a product, but sometimes like if people don't feel the push to buy it, then they don't buy it, and now they're just like it's almost like. It's hard, right? Because a lot of people are like, well, I'm going to sell X and that's the goal. But you guys do the opposite. You're like, well, we're going to sell if we sell and we'll give as much information as we can. But it's really, in the end of the day, it's your decision. And like, there's no right or wrong answer.
It's not, and it's a big decision, right? I mean, just to spend that much money on it's a discretionary spend, right? We're not selling gasoline or toothpaste or medicine, right? You're coming 100%.
Yeah,
you want to play better golf or tennis, so we're not high pressure sales. We are all about what's right for you. And I just read a letter at a store in Boston that I was at this week about a customer that came in 6 times to make one purchase. And he goes, I came in and the previous 5 times I got no pressure to buy this driver. And I've been wanting it for 6 months. And I finally saved up enough money to come in and buy the driver. And he said, there was no chance I was going anywhere else because the previous 5 times you let me hit it as much as I want. You let me see the numbers. But you didn't put tons of pressure on me because I told you up front, I'm probably not going to buy it anyway. And he said, I was so grateful that they even let me go into a simulator right after I told you I can't afford it yet. Right. But we knew that customer was going to come back because we treated him the right way. Right. And that's, like I said, that's what's so great about not just being in retail, but I've been with companies that didn't embrace that philosophy.
Right. Oh yeah, so have I.
Yeah, and when you lose that, I didn't want to be a part of it anymore. So I think, starting with our obviously our owner is Arthur Blank, who co-founded the second largest retailer in the world with Home Depot. But that's what he preaches to us every time that we meet with him as well, is it's about doing the little things that are right for the customer, and then the results will come.
That's the same way he built his other brand. Same way. Like
exactly
the biggest.
Right. And one of our core values is listen and respond. And that's just not a plaque on the wall. That's something that we really live is, if you listen to what a customer is saying and you respond that way, that's what's going to create. That's why this guy that came in 6 times at our store in Boston, that's why we had that experience, is we listened to him saying, okay, we understand you might not make this purchase today, but we also understand that you want to know if this driver's right for your game. So come on in and let's see if it really is. Right. And I think he saw that. And so, and I have thousands of letters annually that I read that are very, very similar to that. And it all starts from the top of our organization. And that's how we call our organization an inverted pyramid. And our CEO will say this, he's at the bottom because he's furthest from the customers. So the most important people in our entire organization are the people that are having those interactions with the customers. And that's what we structure our whole organization around, that, because that's where it all happens. The day that we sit in an ivory tower and we don't understand what's going on out there is the day that I want to be gone. I don't never wanted to do that. I love what happens day to day with our customers. And I feel like my job is to support everything possible to make that a better experience for our customer and a more seamless thing for our associates to provide.
So you graduated from Auburn. You went this management program.
Yes.
What retailer was that?
So it was JCPenney. So, and I was with them for about a year and a half. And then I had the opportunity to go into a department store called Parisian, which was a division of Saks a while ago. They're now part of Belk. There's lots of changes in the department store realm.
Where was that at? Where were you?
It was
Florida
in Birmingham, still? Alabama. It was based in Birmingham. And, I got a call from a sporting goods store called Galleons. And they said, we're expanding all over the Midwest, and our golf business has grown, and we don't even have a golf buyer position, and we're creating a role for a golf buyer. And I was like, well, as avid of a golfer as I was, that's a dream job for me. It sounds amazing. And went and took that job, and 2 years later, they were bought out by Dick's Sporting Goods. So
what year was that?
That was back in 2004 that they were purchased. I started the industry in 2002 with them. And then 2 years later.
Dude, we're like the same age, I bet. We're close.
We're pretty close. We got to be pretty close, right?
Yeah, but you got an MBA, but I got my law degree. So, that's 3 years in a year.
The law degree's got to be so much harder than getting an MBA. Taking the LSAT and all that.
The LSAT was nothing. Okay, first of all, the LSAT was stupid. And they make these tests that are supposed to like cut people into like buckets, and like really it's so dumb. Like, I don't know. You hear my LSAT story? So like my wife, here's my story of going to law school. So I remember mowing my lawn, and I had this great idea while mowing the lawn. I'm like, I should go to law school. Literally, this is what happened. My wife was 5 months pregnant. So she was like, all right, whatever. And so I'm like, I'll make a deal with you. I go, if I can get into law school, I'll go to law school. But if I can do well on the LSAT, that was his key, right? Because you're not going to law school if you don't get a good LSAT score. Right. I'm like, then I'll go to law school. And she, that was kind of like the differentiator. So I took the LSAT the day before my first son was born. And
wow.
Like he was born on a Sunday. I took the LSAT on a Saturday. So I was like, literally after that test, I was like, I'm going to be a dad tomorrow. And then I got into law school and all that, but that was like good times.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you went to Dick's in 2002, 4?
No, I went to Galleons in 2002. And then when Dick's Sporting Goods bought them, I had a chance to go there, and I actually had the same offer from Dick's and Golfsmith on the same day. And Golfsmith, I chose to go to there in Austin, Texas. So I went there, learned a lot about the golf industry there. They had a lot of, they had a pretty well established brand at that time, in the early 2000s.
And hyper focused too, not just like,
very
sporting goods store with like a million different things.
Very much. Yeah.
So then what did you were a buyer at Golfsmith then, or what?
I was the senior club merchant at Golfsmith. So that was a great.
I bet you were wined and dined.
It was a great time. It was a great time to be part of the golf industry. And, there's a lot of, like, as you said, a lot of good people in the golf industry.
So. Make a lot of friends. Yeah. And then, so then how long were you at Golfsmith?
So I was there until 3 years. In 2007, I had a rare opportunity to get a promotion with going to another company. So I was hired as a vice president at Sports Authority. From a merchant role at Golfsmith. So it was pretty hard.
That's a big jump. Yeah.
Turn that down. Yeah.
But then they went bankrupt.
They did, and
it's just crazy. Like, that's a huge company. When they went bankrupt, I was like, what the hell? That's because of the market, right? Because of 2013, 14.
It was a little bit of a lot of things. There was some mismanagement of some assets that they had, along with, 2008 and the bubble and all these just different things going on.
A million things happening. Yeah.
They probably overhired, but like I said, I think they at some point, I think they stopped listening to their customer. I think that really was the key. And that's what I said. Like, I've been with organizations where I start.
You've been you've seen it. You can see right away.
You get a bad feeling about it. And, there were some great people at Sports Authority that have moved on to other things. But, I had the chance to, I had a recruiter in 2011 call me about PGA Tour Superstore, and from what I knew about it, and then finding out even more about it, there was no question that
no brainer.
It was. I mean, between Arthur Blank and Dick Sullivan, our CEO, and the whole management team, it's I don't regret it for a minute, and it is by far. I tell everybody this. It's by far the best culture and the best company that I've ever worked for. It's really well run, and there's a high level of respect among peers. There's not a lot of bureaucracy. Our CEO says that all the time. He does not want a bureaucratic company where there's lots of infighting. Obviously, there's some in every organization, of course. But it's really
there's a common goal, though. That's the key, right?
Yeah, no, and it's the kind of place where you can make a mistake, or even call someone out for, you can question someone and they're not thinking that you're just backstabbing them, or it's,
or gunning for their job, or some bull crap.
Something like that. It's like, hey, we're all working for this common goal. And, it all comes from our leaders that I mentioned before that have created this environment, but it allows somebody like me and our other leaders to really come in and feel comfortable being empowered to make decisions on behalf of our customer, like I said. And that's the best part is,
it gives you the freedom to like be creative, right? And like to really care. Like if you don't have employees or leadership that cares, you're screwed, right? Like if they're just there to collect the paycheck. Like I've been in corporations like as in-house counsel, and I was like, I'm out, like, because that's literally a disaster like waiting to happen.
We have dozens and dozens of people every day that I work with that are not really in this for the paycheck. I mean, obviously we all need to make
we need to make money, but
we all need to do that. But so many people could be at so many other places. We get recruited by, I'm sure you can imagine, we get calls from recruiters every day, and I put my hand up right away and say not interested. And we have so many people like that. We have so many really talented people that are here because of the culture and because of the philosophy and because of the values and giving back. And, the things that we've done, we could spend the rest of the time talking about, not just Arthur Blank donating almost $10 million to the First Tee last year and this year, but all of the different ways that we're giving back to charity, and the number of, like, when we did International Women's Golf Day, right? So we had our store in Indianapolis where several of our ladies flew up to Indianapolis and they worked in the store. We had an all ladies team for an entire day on Women's Golf Day in our Indianapolis store.
That's cool.
And the men didn't go play golf. The men in the store actually went and volunteered at a women's shelter that day. And it was just like, we have story after story. We have we have the first tee, not just the money that we give them, but we're going to give 4 students the opportunity to participate in an annual summit at Arthur Blank's ranch in Montana, to go out there and do a leadership summit with CEOs from several companies and the leadership of our organization. And they get to learn about leadership skills and development. And then we stay in touch with these kids. There's so many of these things that we're doing. I could talk all day about it. We're going to go participate in Billy Horschel's event, which benefits golfers that are trying to make it on the PGA Tour with different ethnic backgrounds, right? So a lot of I think that the proper term is BIPOC, right? It's just an amazing thing. Like there was a guy on the PGA Tour event in Detroit last week that had graduated from this program onto web.com and now PGA Tour, that came through this program that Billy Horschel supports. So, but many of the people that are in that program don't make it on the PGA Tour, right? But they're all obviously very good golfers, and they want careers in the golf industry. So we can help provide that if they don't make it on the tour. Hey, these are the careers we offer.
Yeah, there's a whole other world that you could be doing stuff in.
Yeah, so all of the ways we give back, that to me, and by the way, every single dollar of profit that we make is given back to the community. Right. So everything that we do that goes to, people say, hey, you're just lining Arthur Blank's pocket. Well, everything goes into his foundation. Right. So all the profit we make gets churned back out and into these causes for the community, whether it's, the West Side here in Atlanta or any of these other things, First Tee and all of it. So it's such a cool thing to be part of an organization where it's not like, hey,
not money driven.
Lining everyone's pockets with money.
Oh, I've been those. Oh yeah. It's like, it's the stock, right? It's all about the stockholders and making sure we hit our numbers so we can make our profit.
It's we're a board of one. We have a board of one person, and he directs all of that money into his foundation. So it's awesome the way that we can say, hey, not only are we doing all the right things to run a business like good business people do, but the money and the profits go somewhere that is benefiting the community and the world.
I never knew that. That's crazy. Yeah. So I learn every podcast learns something new.
It's awesome. And it's just so, like I said, it's great to be part of, it's glamorous to be part of the Falcons and Mercedes-Benz Stadium and Atlanta United, and that's all great, and they do a lot of great things too. But couldn't be happier to be part of the organization. It's a lot of hard work.
I never knew anything about this. This is what's so cool because it sounds like a play, it gives you more respect for the company and the brand, because you just think, on paper, everyone looks the same, right? All the big retailers look the same. They're retailers, right? Correct. But then you start until you start actually talking, this is what I enjoy about doing the podcast, until I really get to know the person who's leading the charge. It's like, oh, wow, then they are different, right? And this is how they're different. And that's why you should go buy from them, because they're different. They're not just trying to make money or...
Exactly. And it's one of the core values that I mentioned earlier, right? So give back to others is one, right? But it's not a plaque on the wall. We could spend the next hour talking about ways that we give back. And, when you have the kind of money that Arthur has, and then you see what that money can do for our communities, it's just incredible. And even the West Side Ranch in Montana it does these things throughout the year. The First Tee thing is just one thing. I mean, there are many charitable companies.
Man, life's short. That's the thing, right? So how do you want to go out? I saw my kids this yesterday. We were driving to swim lessons. I said, you know what? Life's short, guys. I'm just tell you that right now.
Right.
Trust me on that.
We like to call it purpose, right? I mean, so if you're working toward a greater purpose, it's more than just, hey, how do we run great retail stores that help people play better golf and we make a little money along the way? That's one part of it. The other part is, can we impact the world in a better way? So those are many of the reasons. Like I said, I feel like I'm doing a sales pitch for coming to work for an Arthur Blank company, but I've said this at dinner parties as well, right? It's a great place to work. And
are you trying to hire me right now?
Yeah, come on, Paul. Come on. We need an attorney.
Oh, I bet. Nobody needs that.
Everybody needs an attorney, right?
Well, everyone needs an attorney to make fun of and be like, I'm glad I'm an attorney.
Yeah.
No, they come to the lawyer jokes.
Yes. No, it's I know a lot of really fun lawyers, and I know you're one of them too. I can tell just from our time today and other day.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I had a meeting this week with these clients, and they go, "We were so nervous to come to your law firm," and I'm like, "Why?" And they're like, "Oh, we thought you'd be stuffy and like the guy on Bull." I swear to God, that's what they said. And or those guys on Suits, and I was like, "No, that's not how we do things here."
That's awesome.
I'm like, "Did you walk in and it was really like, marble when you first walk into the building?" No, so don't worry about it. If you see marble in the building and you first walk in, who's paying for that. That's what I always tell people. But so what kind of things are going on with PGA Tour Superstore? Like, what do you guys got going on?
Yeah, no. So we've got a lot going on. We, as I mentioned, we have 46 stores today, and we're going to be opening 4 more stores this year. So
where?
We're going to have another store in the Dallas area in Arlington in a couple of weeks. And then in August, we're going to have our first store in Virginia. So that will be in Fairfax, Virginia in August. And then we have 2 more Texas stores coming in October.
See how cool this is? They think about this. Retail is opening stores, right? Like, that's a big deal. It's not like they're holding on to what they got, right? Like, you guys are literally making new ones.
Exactly. And with lots of other retailers going the other way, it's once again fun to be part of growing and opening stores. So yes, we have Houston and San Antonio coming in August, our 3rd store in Houston. And then we've got a few more lined up for the beginning of next year. We're going to have our first store in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia. We're going to have a store in Tampa coming up early in the year. And we're also going to have a store in Charlotte, North Carolina, our first North Carolina store. So 3 new states coming up here in the next 6 months.
So where are you not at mainly? The Midwest, like North Dakota kind of thing?
We're pretty much coast to coast. Yeah. North Dakota, we haven't made it to the northwest corner of the US yet either. So we have lots of people asking why we're not in Seattle and Portland yet, but it
takes time. I mean,
we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, it's strategy. You gotta figure out what,
Yes, we will. We'll get to these places eventually, but yeah, it's pretty much in that middle part of the country, the Dakotas and Montana, and those places are.
How many do you have in Arizona? 3.
We have 4 in Phoenix and 1 in Tucson.
Oh, I didn't think about the one in Tucson.
So yes, Arizona's been a great market for us.
The joke in Arizona is like, if Phoenix is the armpit, what does that make Tucson? That's always the joke. I like Tucson. I like Tucson.
I've been to Tucson a few times.
It's so chill. It's like the chill version of Phoenix. That's like literally
it's very laid back, and there's some good golf courses down there too.
Yeah, there is. So how long have you been in your position then at PGA Tour Superstore?
So I started with the company, as I mentioned, in November of 2011. So I'm coming up on 10 years.
Was that as a VP of something?
Yes. So I started as a VP of hard goods merchandising. So that was, I did that until 2017, and I've spent the last 4 years in operations.
So then, wow. 10 years. And it's your favorite company to be at so far. So.
Absolutely. Yes. It's a great place. So yeah, and it's a fun environment and a fun industry. And, there's retail is a lot of hard work, but as I said, it's very rewarding as well to see those smiles on people's faces and how we give back. And
so how good are you at golf now that you're the COO? You got to be like the best player ever.
Well, I told you, I said it can start with a 7 or it can start with a 9.
That didn't ever change? I thought that was in high school.
I have a very wide range of, I'm currently a 6, but like I said,
a 6 handicap or 6 for every hole?
6 handicap. I could shoot 75. I could shoot 85. It just, who knows?
You must play golf every day.
Far from it.
When was the last time you played golf? Be honest. It's probably like 3 months ago, right?
Okay. So this is actually the joke about people get into the golf business because they really like golf. And then they realize when you're in the industry that you don't play as much golf. So I'm going to tell you a number, but whenever I say this number, some people think this is a lot of golf and some people think it's hardly any at all. But I usually play between 20 and 25 rounds a year.
That's
right.
Not many. That's like twice a month. I mean, that's
but I tell that to some people and they say, "Oh, that's a lot." But I don't think it's a lot. I'd play more if I didn't have a job, but then I don't know if I could play.
Here's the thing, though. But here's the thing, right?
Yes, I love it, and I have three kids, so all boys, and we go to a lot of sporting events for all of them. So my weekends are
it's not like me. That's me.
Yeah. So, we're kind of in the throes of that, but they play golf too. So I'll take them for 9 holes every once in a while. But
I have an 11-year-old and 8-year-old, so I'm in the same thing.
You know all
people
about
go, why did you start a website or a blog or do what you did? I'm like, because I didn't have 6 hours on a weekend to go play golf. Like that's one of the reasons. Because what dad has that much time? Now your wife, now as they get older, it's easier to get out there. But when you have little babies, there's no way you're going out there.
Yes. Yeah. When they're young, you can forget it. But that makes for the times you do play to be even that much more special and something you can.
Some of my best memories and my worst memories are with my dad playing golf. So
I can relate.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm really excited to have you like today out on the show because I don't know, I never thought I'd have you on the show. I don't know. That's the best way I can say it. Like when I started out, I was just the guy going over to PGA Tour Superstore and looking around, trying to like see what I could afford or hit or test and then go write about it. So it's kind of come like full circle in that regard. It's kind of cool. So,
well,
you're cool. We tried talking yesterday too. And we were like, not able to.
Yeah, no, that was we had a little technical glitch yesterday, but I'm really excited to be on as well. And you could probably tell from this already that I could talk golf all day long, and certainly love talking to you. And next time I'm in Phoenix, we need to tee it up at some place.
We should email. We go dinner, hang out, or like go play golf.
That sounds great. I would love to because this conversation is great, and we have a lot we can talk about. I'm sure. Oh,
yeah, that. I mean, yeah, you're cool. I like you. You're really cool. I mean, sometimes I'm just like, people are. When I start telling my wife about people I'm talking to, like she's like, oh, she knows it's someone who's cool. Sometimes I don't even tell her because I'm like, she's not even gonna be interested. So, I mean, you guys need to check out PGA Tour Superstore. There literally has to be one in your town, unless you live in like Montana, which would be cool. But I mean, there's not many golf courses there. But I mean, to me, you guys are like the retailer for golf equipment. Like I don't go anywhere else in retail. And so I've always had good experiences with you guys. It's low. There's like no pressure to buy products and they just let you play. Right. And ask questions and whatever. So that's really cool. And you can see even by the leadership why it's like that. So thank you for being on the show. And I look forward to doing more with you in the future.
Appreciate you having me, Paul. I really appreciate it. And congrats on all your success as well.
Great. Thank you.